Welcome to the 232nd episode of News Dump, where we run through the hottest topics in the Lewis County news scene and discuss. I'm local man Aaron VanTuyl, joined by Chronicle Executive Editor-in-Chief Eric Schwartz. We're also joined in spirit by sponsors Summit Funding, Shields Outfitters, and the Roof Doctor, and a special guest. Hallie is here. Hallie.
Hello.
Hallie Ralls from the Centralia Downtown Association. Also a new member of the Parks Board, I'm told.
Yes, yeah.
Is that what you're here to announce, the new strategy of parks?
Oh, gosh, no. I cannot speak for the city in any official capacity. We're
okay.
Strictly advisory. Council can do whatever they want with that.
All right. Do we want to do preambles? What should we do?
No, let's just stick with Centralia Downtown Association stuff.
All right, Hallie's here, yeah.
I got a topic that asking
a
for a
downtown
friend.
topic.
If you volunteered one year for the spring cleanup, which is coming up this weekend, right? May 4th?
Yeah,
In a
Sunday.
past year and suffered so much leg pain and suffering that you're a little reluctant to go again, would you hold it against that person? Asking for a friend.
Would I hold it against a person who didn't want to come back?
Right,
because
but
they
they've
got
already
injured?
given their pound.
They have.
so much.
Yes, yeah, they have
previous
given
year.
a pound of flesh. No, but I will say I did visit one of your sponsors this week and tried to find some tools for you guys. And,
Oh, man.
And they didn't have what I was looking for, but they did look like they had plenty of other tools.
How's the roof doctor doing?
They're doing great. I heard they're in for 2026 roof over the tractor parade. So
Hell yeah,
yeah.
finally. We did it.
I'm so proud of you guys. Thank you so much for that.
No, I did help out a couple years ago for half of the time anyone
did.
else did. And I couldn't get out of my chair here for quite some time. My knees were locking up. Anyways, it took
so
me
sorry.
out of the Bucota casket races that year. I'm really hoping to be ready this October. So
Right.
I won't be at the cleanup, but for those who are physically able, do you have some details?
I do have some details. So it's Sunday, May 4th. We're doing 2 shifts starting at 9 a.m. and 1 p.m.
Is it going to be Star Wars themed?
You know, I wish. That's honestly a missed opportunity. I did not think about that until this week.
Not to go too far off that rabbit trail, but I was ranting today that the city of Vader is celebrating its annual festival on the weekend of May the 4th. The city of Vader.
What?
Guess what their theme is?
What is
Tie-dye. It's sitting right there, Vader.
What if it
sitting
was
right
like-
there?
What if it was
Every
like
opportunity.
the posters were all like just doing the Spock thing?
See, that would even be better. I'd double down on that.
That would be a pretty good bit.
like a big Star Trek festival that weekend. Anyways, I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry at all. That's hot news, I think.
So 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. I
9 a.m.
imagine
and 1
you'll
p.m.
probably be there for both shifts.
I will be, yes, yeah, out in full force. I'm going to be actually captaining one of the blocks that we're working on this year. Usually I'm at the check-in table, so I figured I'd actually get out and get my knees dirty, give my pound of flesh, as
Gotcha.
it were.
And this is it the similar work? A lot of scraping out the sidewalks
Yes, yeah.
meticulously throughout all
Meticulously,
downtown.
Yep, yeah. So it's a lot of crack scraping and then sweeping it out into the streets and picking up. There's usually not a ton of trash to pick up. We think we got like 10 bags last year, which for all of downtown is not much, I think. And then, yeah, this year we're leaning into a bit of a class competition. I don't know if you guys saw about this. We're doing $500 for the Centralia High School class that brings out the most volunteers. So that's any age. You can, if your kids were in high school, you could come and say, hey, I want to contribute my tickets for the time that I've earned here and throw it into their bucket. And then we're going to their Spirit Assembly on May 23rd, I believe. Just check that.
Can you make sure that we are there at that?
I would love for you guys
That
to
would
be
be
there.
awesome.
Yeah,
That would be great.
yeah.
At least have Cody there.
We're getting a giant
Ridley.
check, so I fully expect lots of media coverage.
Oh,
Yes,
my
that
God,
is
giant
the
check.
magnet. If you don't have the giant scissors and ribbon,
Right.
then
Exactly.
I sure hope
Well,
you have a large check.
At least you could
Exactly.
have a golden shovel.
Good luck getting
That would
Cody
be
and Ridley
perfect.
out there if you don't.
Yeah.
They'll bring their own.
Yeah, my question to you guys, when are you going to start sponsoring spring cleanup with the dumpsters that we need to take out the trash? and
We
everything?
being the Chronicle, the News Dump,
No, the
or
News
just
Dump.
2 Waunch Prairie guys?
All of the above.
All of the
Well,
above.
Launch Prairie guys throw our garbage directly into the river.
Yeah.
Oh, right, as is tradition.
Yes, of course.
As George Waunch dictated so many years ago.
Of course.
We
Yeah.
should sponsor we should do a News Dump crossover where we just get a dumpster that says News Dump on it. People could get their photo taken next to it. Our one fan would
horrible
get their
idea.
photo
Beautiful.
taken next to
It's
it.
a horrible idea.
I'd be there. I'd be there.
And you guys will have tools, but I want to give,
Yes.
just for the uninitiated, you want to get yourself an actual like garden claw or like
Yes.
a hooked item
Yeah.
because you're going to get handed a screwdriver potentially if not.
Potentially. We did invest, so last year, not you came the year previously. We did invest in more of the, they're called duck scrapers, which is what I was trying to find for you guys at Chehalis Outfitters. And they're just awesome for scraping those cracks out. It gets the job done real fast. It's not the most labor-intensive work. It just takes a lot of hands. So the more folks come out, the further we can go. We always tell people. We do get a lot of criticism online for not going beyond the historic district, but that's typically because we don't get enough people.
It's also like time intensive. Yeah, exactly.
It is,
if you had
it's very
several
just
hundred people
time-intensive.
showed up,
Yeah.
you practically speaking have to spread out further.
Exactly, yeah. So we're hoping to capitalize on the youth this year and all of their energy. So.
Well, you are the Centralia Downtown Association,
Yeah.
not the Centralia Uptown Association.
True, but we do really try to love on all the different edges of downtown.
The North Tower is what you're talking about. Like that's
Some
where we've had
of it,
coverage in the past and things where they'd like to see some of those things pulled out. But
Definitely.
again, like you said, it is a bit of a numbers game. You could
definitely.
do all of that space poorly, not like get anything done. But how you guys do cleanup day, it's like you're literally getting every piece of dirt in this area.
Every
out
single
into the
piece, yeah.
streets.
We are offering a cool incentive for businesses this year. Anybody that goes out and does some before and after pictures and scrapes their cracks, cleans up in advance, sends us the before and after pictures and their logo, we'll do a digital billboard for them for 2 weeks after spring cleanup. So
Sounds a lot like the self-deportation app. Just do it yourself and we won't do it.
sort of. The goal is
It's a
that
horrible comparison. I'm
we'll
sorry.
know who's already done it, and our volunteers can then go further. Is the goal. So.
And if you're on the fence, there's lots of good humor when the work is, cleaning out cracks.
Right, exactly.
You're going to hear some of the same jokes
Yeah.
if you're a veteran like myself. But
Oh, yes. Yeah. You talk about this one time you spent 2 hours cleaning a sidewalk.
it was
like
2
30
hours.
minutes.
It was not 2 hours.
Goddamn time in a war camp.
I strategically worked my way around a corner on South Tower to where I could then disappear around the corner and then flee in the alley back towards the Chronicle. So
I think I went to
some
just
gay
touch
ball.
base like 20 minutes later, and you were gone.
yeah, I hard labor though.
It
Hard
was.
labor.
It was.
You got the best 20 minutes.
And you did do some very clean crack scraping.
Yeah,
So I'll give you that.
Some were saying
Appreciate
that they were the best blocks on the downtown area, Aaron.
Oh, yeah.
There was chatter.
Some
people coming
news
up to
dump
you,
posts,
tears in their
yes.
eyes. Sir, thank you. Your cracks are the cleanest.
Exactly. That quote. Yeah, that's how it went. All right. What else downtown association related did we have? Something about flowers coming up?
Yeah. So this Sunday is actually the start of one of my favorite weeks of downtown. So spring cleanup is also sponsored by Calypso, who comes out and does our power washing on the streets on Monday and Tuesday. So that's really fun because not only do the volunteers get everything kind of prepped for them and it makes their job go easier, they can go farther again. But then on Monday, the west side of Tower gets closed down. The street sweepers run all day. Calypso's over there giving it the real fine detailing, I guess. And then same thing on Tuesday for the east side, that comes in. And then Wednesday, Calypso comes back and does all of the windows because they splash dirt on the windows when they're cleaning. So they come back and do that. And then by Friday, flower baskets are hung up just in time for our new event this year, Flower Crawl, which is on Saturday.
Oh, that's a
11
good
to 4.
name.
Yeah, it's
You had to
Tower
hear
Crawl,
it out
Flower
loud
Crawl.
in
Yeah,
order to get it.
exactly.
Yeah, I
we were
see
really
now.
playing to you guys in thinking of your potential women in your life, your mom, your wife.
Oh,
I
that's a
thought
great
you were.
name.
I thought you were playing to us at our
I mean, you could go out and drink for Flower Crawl too.
I have to
Constant
say,
drinking up and down Tower.
until you enunciated it, I had been reading it as flower crawl. But once you said flower crawl,
Exactly.
I'm like, okay,
Oh.
now we're in business here.
This is what
so
we're
this
going
is a
for.
drunk flowers thing, right?
Essentially,
just the way Mom wants it.
exactly. I mean, I am a mom. If I could, I would be drinking. Don't get me wrong. That was sort of the goal, though, is to kind of play on the Tower Crawl and give
I
it a
like
spring
that.
flair. It is a fundraiser for the flower baskets that are going out the day before. So the main piece is you get to go to all the different businesses and build a bouquet as you go.
Okay.
Tickets are $40, which is a pretty good deal. Fernridge Floral is actually designing the bouquets for us. And for a bouquet of the size that we're actually doing this year, she was saying it'd be upwards of $50.
Wow.
But you also get, we're doing a really, I don't know if you guys have heard of this, and it's not political, I swear, but it's called a progressive stamp. Yeah, exactly. I knew that was coming.
Schwartz is furious.
But basically, there's 5 different stamp shops through downtown, and it builds on itself. So there's a different layer, and at the end, you end up with a really nice multicolored bouquet.
I think that's wonderful.
It just sounds lovely.
It's very creative.
Where does the booze come in to this?
Wherever you would like to stop.
Okay. All right. I was just wondering if it's going to be a crawl.
Mostly it's flowers.
Like what hours of the day is this? Like, are the bars open? Do they
11 to 4. Yeah.
Okay.
So I do
All right,
believe that most
yeah.
of them are open. You can stop and eat. We're also offering an incentive for folks to stay and shop in those businesses. So every $20 spent, you get an entry into a gift basket drawing. So
How many flowers make up the bouquet? Like when you're done, what are you looking at?
Oh gosh, that's a great question. I'm missing my other half today, Mackenzie McGee. So
That's okay.
She has the numbers off. I think we're looking at about 15 flowers, plus we're doing some fillers and things to start with. So it ends up being quite full at the end.
Okay, and you're still looking for people to sponsor the flower baskets, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, always, yeah.
For $100?
$100 for a flower basket. You can do that on our website, downtowncentralia.org, using the Become a Friend of Downtown feature. So either a $100 one-time donation, or you can become a monthly sponsor at monthly friend at $10 per month. So
I think you should think about making this your next philanthropic donation.
I was just looking that up, actually.
we'll dedicate it to the news dump if you like.
Oh, okay.
Will we know where our flower basket is at so we can care for it?
We have wanted to do that very much in the past.
Are we
the
required
logistics
to
for it.
care for it?
No.
Okay.
The city comes out and does all the watering for us, which is a lovely, lovely thing.
One of the low-key things I've always liked about downtown Centralia is driving through downtown, like early in the morning in the summer, and you see the summer street workers kids out like with
Doing the watering.
watering
Yep.
the tree. Like, God damn it. You know what? This place is all right.
We're all right.
You really enjoy
exactly,
end of summer, too, when those troublesome American flags come down, don't you?
It's
Like, oh, yes, finally, darkness and winter has returned.
Only a few months until the lights in downtown. Yeah,
We go back
Sharpen
from
your
Y2K.
sickle.
you sure do. I always have that hammer on me.
You should get dressed up and go downtown for Halloween this year.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
Yeah.
What else is happening? Anything else? Or is that's the high of it?
That is the highs of everything for this upcoming week, and that's about all my brain has space for in terms of this coming week.
And then after that, we're on the home stretch for Summerfest.
That's our next
That's
one.
the next big one
Yeah,
after
we're
you get
heading
over
into
this hump.
Summerfest after this, yeah.
Which is definitely happening.
It's definitely happening.
I
despite
heard
rumors.
differently. The county was like, actually, summer is canceled.
All of summer.
Yeah.
Not just the 4th
I was
of July.
furious.
Yeah. Were you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't believe the county would do that to us.
So really all we're lacking this year is the demo derby, which we already knew about. It's not a
Yes.
downtown association thing. And
Yeah.
I think that reporting came out a year ago.
It did.
And then the only other thing that the county announced was that there would not be fireworks at the fairgrounds, which I always just assumed was part of the demo derby. I thought the two were one and the same. I've only gone to
Yeah.
a few of them, but I thought when I heard the demo derby was gone, I was like, okay, there goes the fireworks too.
Yeah.
But other than that, everything is happening on the 4th of July in downtown Centralia.
That
We'll
is
have the
correct.
parade, but not the parade announcers of
Not
me
the
and Aaron.
parade announcers, not you two. However, we do have another Chronicle celebrity guest host for the parade.
Go on.
It's already announced on our website, so I'm not breaking anything.
Go
here.
on.
Go on.
Chronicle ad manager Brian Watson
Oh, hell
is doing the honors this year. Exactly. Give it up for
Watson
Brian.
isn't a manager. He's an executive.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And he
My
has a-
apologies.
You should be.
He has a history of announcing things. He's done the Lewis County Best of Lewis County
He's
Awards.
done some state championships, I think.
He's
Yeah.
called some games on the Eli Sports Network, I believe. Heard
He's-
some of
he's
his
good.
calls. Yeah,
You
he'll be
know-
great.
When you guys said you were out, we thought maybe it's time to bring in the real professionals.
Yeah, no, Brian will be really good. I remember I can't remember what event it was, maybe a best of or something. The first time I saw him do it, I was like, oh, damn, this
Yeah.
guy's good.
Yeah.
I watched the live streams of Best of Lewis County mostly because I'm like, yeah, this Brian guy's killing it.
Yeah.
If
it's
he
great.
flakes on you, you need to call Luke Kilgore.
I will. I
He'll
would
bring
be
a
happy to call Luke.
WWE flair
man.
to your event. He does our Lewis County Sports Awards, and he's just great at it.
Yeah, he's a
such
fantastic guy.
he's a natural for that.
Yeah. I would love if Luke wants to get in the mix. Luke, you have my number. Call me.
You need a guy in the parade. Is what none of
Yes.
the parades have accomplished yet locally. You need
That
to
would
have
be
two
really fun.
mics. You got your guy on the stage, and then you got to have a Roman guy that's
Yeah.
just like moving around.
Yeah, that would be really fun.
Asking Joe Kent what he thinks and such.
And then he has a lot of bleeping required there.
The parade applications will open soon as well. We're hoping over the next week or two.
It's a city council year. We're heading to filing week. I'm sure that's on your notes. So
Yeah.
it's going to be a big. There's going to be a lot of political floats, I would assume.
I would imagine
City
so.
council, there's like over 100 races, so we'll see.
Yeah. Should be an exciting parade year.
Who's up in city council this year?
There's 4 seats on each of the councils that are up. Can you confirm or deny, Hallie, that you will be running for one of these seats?
Oh, deny, absolutely. Heartfelt, no.
I knew that you would deny it.
Sitting out this cycle, huh?
Yeah, I'll wait for future years.
I think it starts next week, but yeah, filing week. We'll find out who files then.
Do you have any predictions? Anybody whose name you think is going to be thrown out there?
No.
You're a man in the know. You're always sharing your political gossip with me.
Not true. I don't
All
tell
the
you
time.
anything. That is how I do it.
You lean over next to me at O'Barney's and shout rumors at me.
I thought that was what friends did, Aaron. I'm sorry.
Anything else on the Centralia Downtown Association?
Not at the moment. Oh, well, actually, I take that back. We do have a limited edition postcard that we've released for Centralia's 150th birthday.
Go on.
I did actually bring one to show you guys. I can't give it to you.
You can't afford it.
Okay, yeah.
You can't afford it. It's $10, but it is silky
not.
and beautiful. I know this podcast is
It'll
really
be great for this very visual medium.
Exactly, yeah. But there it is.
Oh,
It's
that's
nice
great.
and shiny.
Oh, wow.
It's
This looks
thick
like
paper.
it's embossed like one of the classic baseball cards we would have been thrilled to find in a pack.
Oh, yeah.
I like that.
Looks like a Fleer Ultra, if you
Yeah.
catch my drift.
Oh, and I totally forgot. I did bring you guys presents this time as well.
we got?
Always.
Oh, Frisbees.
Dinner plates.
So all of the kids that come out for
You just bent the corner
spring
on
cleanup.
that. I think that means you
How
bought
dare
it.
you.
Take it down. It's gone from very fine to just good now.
Yeah. The postcards,
Hell yeah.
they're $10, but you can also make an additional donation that will go straight to the George Washington Scholarship Foundation.
Is this going to be a series of postcards? Like, am I getting myself into a collection here, or?
You know, that's a good question. I mean, this is our first time doing it. I don't want to make any
featured
promises.
George Washington on the first one, so maybe News Dump hosts on the second.
Probably
Right, that would be the order of descent in terms
We're
of
like what,
Centralia
fifth
celebrities.
season? What would the second, like Detlef Schrempf? Maybe.
Oh, that'd be a
Most
good one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
would be a good one, yeah.
Oh man, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I think probably Mary Jane.
Yeah, Mary
Washington.
Jane, I assume, would be
Number 2,
next.
yeah.
And then George Wanch after that. Yeah.
Our boy.
Right, the guy who famously said you have to dump all your trash in the river.
No, he just left his wife for the gold rush.
We're
And came
something
back
of a-
with a new wife.
We're originalists like that, on both counts.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun. Wow.
Yeah.
And you go to your website to get those, right?
Yes, yeah, you can order them online on our website.
Anywhere else?
Centralia.org.
What if I'm a brick and mortar shopper?
That's a great question. I mean, we'll have them at our Summerfest event, I'm sure.
Okay.
Have a swag table.
If
course,
they
at Founders
remain.
Day.
It's a
If
limited
they're still-
run,
yeah,
right?
yeah, we're only doing 150 of them.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah.
You want
I
to
have to
don't
give
you?
that.
I
Well,
know,
when
I'm
you
just
said
saying.
that, yeah,
They're
like, well,
exclusive.
Gotta
It's a
get one of those
luxury item.
postcards.
Yeah.
All right, shall we do some preambles now?
Yeah, and Hallie's going to join us.
Yep, Hallie's going to stay for the whole
Not
thing.
obligated
I'm
to
gonna stick
speak,
around.
but welcome to.
Okay.
I did not come prepared, just so everybody knows.
Nobody
But I'm
does.
excited.
Have you
Thanks for
listened to
having
this
me.
podcast before? Nobody's ever prepared. My first preamble, what happened to the school levies?
The school levies, Winlock up by 5 after a number of counts, and we're supposed to get what would probably be the final count tomorrow. It's not the certification date, but we'll have another update tomorrow on any remaining ballots. So Winlock up by 5, Mossy Rock down by 2, technically down by 3 because if you tie a levy, you fail.
You have to,
so you need 3.
the bar is over 50%, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Onalaska has failed, and that was their second run at it. And the Morton fire bond has failed. It had like 57 or 58% support, but it needed 60 as a bond. As you know, as a former education reporter.
Once upon a time, I don't think they've changed the rules that much since then.
No, not much. There was a bond issue. West Thurston passed a bond at 50%, and I don't even understand the specifics of it. But we reported it failed, and then we were told, actually, no, this is a different bond issue.
Wow.
Anyways, that's your update. And
Who
we'll have
who
a
told
new
you
update
were
tomorrow.
incorrect on that one? Did a certain
I
Thurston
think it
County
was West Thurston Fire Chief himself was like, wait a minute. And he called us, and we fixed it.
I thought maybe Wayne would have been like, as a politician in Thurston County and also a fireman, you are incorrect.
It wasn't my.
Fool.
I've had a more embarrassing error in the last 24 hours. We had that Winco bust where they were scamming the Coinbase machine.
Oh, yeah.
And I speed read through it, and there was an autocorrect of Sudan to Sudan, the country, capital. And so it said that they arrived in a Sudan in the story.
The commenters were furious.
Oh, I'm sure they were. I don't ever look at the comments, so I've just been taking it. I mean, I reshared that thing a few times with Sudan in it. So I was going to go back and fix it. And I was just like, you know what, Eric? I'm just going to have to wear this one. Just what it is. Just got to get used to failure around here.
All right. That's School Levies Roundup.
Yeah, I don't know how it got to Sudan, but I'm glad it did.
I don't have any other preambles that we haven't already covered, so we can jump into the news. And first up, U.S. Rep. Marie Glucicotte-Perez grilled over SAVE Act vote at chaotic town hall. And this was actually, I got halfway through the story and realized this was like the Vancouver town hall.
Yeah, but I think it's
County
a continuation of the same story.
Yeah.
You could use the same headline for Centralia, probably not use chaotic, though. I would say Vancouver was definitely an escalation as far as the treatment of the Congresswoman.
Who covered this one?
This was Norman Helgeson down at the Reflector, our sister newspaper.
I liked how he covered it.
No, he did a good job. It was, you go to a thing like this, you just become a play-by-play announcer, or else you're going to be picking sides.
You're kind of doing like stream of consciousness reporting a little bit.
Yeah, there's no point to trying to do anything other than
that. She was met with boos, heckling, and calls to resign Thursday night during a contentious town hall in Vancouver, where hundreds of constituents aired their frustration over her votes on election reform, party discipline, and immigration. MGP, a conservative who identifies as a Democrat for polling purposes, discussed the SAVE Act, which she voted for.
Oh, gosh.
However, she acknowledged her belief that the legislation was deeply flawed, at one point calling it a dumpster fire. One attendee shouted, "Then why did you vote for it?" Good question. She also voted to
You're a smart guy. This doesn't perplex you, does it really?
No.
Do you really think she's a conservative?
No, I don't. But
Okay.
Given that the other alternative was Joe Kent, she was the best choice in that race. Although recently, kind of agreeing with these angry people at the town hall. Why did you vote for it? Anyway, she also voted to censure Representative Al Green. Her answer began with an explanation of what a censure is compared to censoring, which irritated the crowd further.
I had to explain to the reporter.
Yeah.
It irritated me.
She then stated her vote was about maintaining institutional standards, not partisan alignment. That's definitely not talking down to your constituents. When I read this, I just imagined her like a college freshman that studies in England for like a month and then comes home and is like, "Oh, cheers," or like went to France and was like, "Oh, bonjour," then tells you wouldn't understand because you never lived abroad or whatever.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Don't get up there and be like, "Oh, well, let me clarify. Censuring is not censoring." Like, don't talk down to people.
She was explaining it. I bet you the person didn't know. Probably pronounced it censoring.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
Anyway, first of all, this kind of continues on the
soapbox.
This continues on the Lewis County one that your boy John McCroskey wrote a whole column about. Look, if you can't go to a town hall and shout at your elected officials and your representatives, what are we even fucking doing here?
You're going to hear from them. And just because I want to assume you're not an idiot,
it's
but
a town
just
hall.
Let me just confirm it.
I want to holler.
You do realize that she runs for office every 2 years in a congressional district that is held securely by Donald Trump, President Donald Trump, as a Democrat. That puts her, she's one of like 10 in the entire country. So you're thinking, oh, her logic doesn't make perfect sense on this bill, but how's it going to look in a year when she's running against somebody? I don't know. Could be Joe Kent again. I'd be surprised.
Well, he has a job.
And they can point to a record and be like, you didn't want IDs for elections. And if you look at the polling for that, it's like 70 or 80% of the population does want that. The 30 to 20% that is vehemently against it is who's at her chaotic town hall, but they're not going to be the ones that keep her out of office in what should be a red district if you're looking at the rest of the political map.
Counterpoint, do you think any of those red voters in that district are going to look at this vote and be like, "Oh, well, you know,
I do.
She really has that." No.
I do. I think you're 100% wrong, and the last two elections show it. Like, you're looking in the era of MAGA to hold a county as a Democrat in a Trump district.
Yes.
It's beyond rare.
How did she win that
She won
Trump
with
district?
Republicans.
She won by not being Joe Kent, and she is kind of acting like Joe Kent on votes like things like this.
She won with Republicans, Aaron.
Oh.
If you want to go back to a straight political map where she's running against a very moderate Republican, something you might see in the next race, then we'll see how strong
Are you
the
hinting? Are you doing an Easter egg
Democrats
at
are.
me?
No, I'm just saying. I'm perplexed by people who see it completely black and white as you do, that Congresswoman bad for voting on this bill that I disagree with, the one bill out of thousands of bills that she will vote on that really didn't matter, and she told you that. But it's also not going to be a news release from the National Republican Party, who has her on their radar. I'm glad I could mansplain that to you, Aaron.
They're going to recruit her or what?
No, I'm just saying. If you don't look at the nuances here, and you're just looking at this one bill and saying it doesn't make sense, I hate her now, I feel like you're really depriving yourself of the full set of facts.
I mean, sure, but if you're doing that, well, she's looking at the long game. Yeah, if the long game is to lose the people who voted you in.
She's won twice in the two biggest upsets of her respective election years. Who are you going to go with? The handlers of MGP or you?
Me, obviously.
She's upset a Republican in a Trump-held district twice.
How
but
many
yes, you are smarter than her.
How many podcasts does she host?
And also, on just the town hall issue, I came up during the Brian Baird years when the shouting down congressmen at town hall thing kind of began. It was during the Iraq War, and I don't think it adds anything. I mean, it makes it more fun to cover, I guess. Like, you get funner exchanges like the ones that you've read. You didn't even read the ones with curse words. I'm a little disappointed in you.
Oh, I thought about it.
The one about the house was funny.
Yeah.
Where she said that she got her house built for like $12,000. It was
Yeah,
like,
that
was that 50 fucking years ago?
Yeah, they've got a point.
I had to take the F-bomb out. Anyways, sorry.
You know what? I, for one, stand up with the people that want to go shout at their representatives at a meeting.
All right.
This is exactly why I'm not running for city council.
I think you just did
there's
this
still
so
time.
you could still disagree with McCroskey, even though McCroskey took the position of the congresswoman deserved a little more respect.
Hey, look around the goddamn
You
current
looked at the
political
notes.
landscape.
And you were like, I'm either going to side with McCroskey or I'm going to criticize MGP. And so you went with the latter.
Look at the current political landscape. For some reason, like the Democrat, you can't go to a shout at a Democrat. What are we talking about?
Yeah, look at the 3rd Congressional District political landscape. I implore you to, sir.
I will not. Next item. Hundreds of anglers compete at Mineral Lake Fishing Derby. There was 400 people there and nobody caught the 10-pound trout.
No, they gave away like 100 and some bikes, though, to local kids. That was pretty cool. Yeah.
I don't know.
Who's
are we
the
sure
winner?
there's a 10-pound trout out there?
They say there is.
I don't know. It feels like
Sounds like it's still up for grabs. If you wanna go
it kind
prove
of feels like when you're playing the pull tabs and there's like, oh, there's a $600 prize in here. And you're like, nobody's getting that.
Somebody will get it.
It's not real.
Tanner Condos won with a 7-pound trout, followed
See,
by Catherine
pretty small.
Bordage, 6.79, Caleb Harris, 6.62, Colson Otis, 6.23, and Miles Sutton, 5.76.
All right. You want to talk about Morton?
Yeah, what about Morton? We have hot news on Morton.
I like this story. Morton Justice City's insurance denies full claim for $937,548 allegedly embezzled by former clerk. This is the Tammy Clevenger case where she was the town bookkeeper and kept that paper right in her own purse.
She really did.
She did.
Now she's hell of an embezzling.
She's now facing federal charges. Although when you spread it over 10 years, it's not that impressive.
Oh, yeah, she only stole $100,000 a year from a very small town that should have friggin' noticed it.
They should have.
How do you not notice that?
I
I have faith in Tammy Clevenger.
This was all addressed in a city council meeting. The council also dipped into the LGIP pool to pay the fees it owes the state auditor for its investigation. Quote from the current city clerk, "We have a $100,000 bill for the auditor. The auditor's office is not being kind in repayment plans. Oh, the auditor who reviewed your finances wants the money now rather than waiting to see if you lose it before the check clears. I wonder why."
With all due respect, to pause your takes, that was a quote from Morton City Clerk Luann Ward, who has dealt with this entire thing. She is the hero of this story, not
She
the
is,
villain.
I
And
agree.
people keep confusing it because she's the current city clerk, and it's blamed on the city clerk. So if you're a local government layman, you want to blame on Luann. It is not her fault.
Yeah, it is not her fault, but that kind of cracked me up a little
Yeah,
bit.
it was pretty funny.
The city is also arguing with its Association of Washington Cities risk pool over their fraud claim. The insurer is only paying them back $21,000. I don't. This is kind of funny to me as well.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like I'm sure the Association of Washington Cities is like, well, I don't know. Did you at any point look at your finances?
Yeah, we'll see. City Attorney James Buzzard did suggest they get specialized counsel.
Yeah, it's probably the smart thing to do. Anyway, yeah, what are your thoughts on Morton?
I don't know. This is like a real legit thought I've had, and it might already be true, and I've already read it and I've forgotten it or something. But what are the chances that Tammy Clevenger, in her 10 years at Morton, was also sexually harassed by Roger Morningstar, the criminally charged police chief, at the same time? What if she got a settlement that was equal to the amount of money that she also stole? I'm not saying that that's true. I'm just saying that occurred to me. That's the level of dysfunction that Morton saw prior to the current administration. I'll call it.
So you're saying it was all a wash.
I mean, I'm just saying, if you read the Morningstar papers, he sexually harassed every woman within a 10-block radius, like often.
Yeah, it's true. Morningstar is mentioned at the end of the story, too. Owen did a nice job of just getting everything in there.
Yeah, and we should have a Morningstar update, too. His trial confirmation, he's also charged with theft, third-degree theft and abuse of office, for using his city credit card to purchase things that were not for city business. But his trial confirmation is tomorrow, so we'll have some update. If it gets delayed, then we will write that. If the trial starts, I believe it starts on May 6th, so we'll cover that.
Yeah. All right. We've got some Jeff Wilson news. Jeff Wilson bill to help small communities fund mixed recreation and library spaces passes in state legislature. You know what? I know you think of me as a curmudgeon when Jeff Wilson is concerned. I like this bill. This is good news for him.
Jeff Wilson does a lot of practical bills. This one was more like geared specifically for Castle Rock, which, truth be told, if I had really fully understood that during the reporter's pitch, I probably would have hard passed because we're not really covering Castle Rock.
Yeah, but it's kind of, Are you extending the parameters of the news war?
No, there's no news war there. We've made peace to our southern border. We're at peace with our western border, Daily World, to the north and to the west. We're full peace. Nothing but
really?
Peace.
Really, Vladimir? Historically, if you look back in the records, Castle Rock was Chronicle territory.
Well, Tenino and Rochester were, formerly Olympian territory too, but I think we know who won that one. Not to brag.
I mean, I'm just saying, I'm pretty sure I saw a news conch in your office before we came up here, so.
Yeah, really? I don't think so.
No.
Maybe.
You
got my full collection of presidential dolls. You saw those, right?
I did.
It's been enhanced lately. It's also presidential hopefuls. Bernie Sanders is in there.
Is he?
Yeah,
I didn't spot
AOC.
That. Yeah.
Chad just keeps gifting me these dolls.
That's beautiful.
I've got Donald Trump jail edition and Donald Trump regular edition.
It's the same doll, sir.
It's two different dolls. One has an orange jumpsuit.
Where is he finding these?
I don't know. I think he's ordering them online. I had one George W. Bush talking head thing, and I think they were like, oh, that's funny. We'll get him Obama. And so I had Obama all of a sudden, and then it's just grown.
You're the guy that has the political
the guy
bobbleheads.
with the presidential dolls. Yeah.
You know what you should do is get a roof to keep over your doll collection.
That was just weak. Just weak. Weak and ineffectual.
Is your
like a roof that was not built by the roof doctor.
By our friends at the Roof Doctor, one of our sponsors, one of our most reliable sponsors. The Roof Doctor wonders, is your roof under the weather? And if you look up at that roof and think, yeah, maybe it is, it's time to call the Roof Doctor. At 360-736-0246 or 669-2099, or visit them online, theroofdoctor.com. They got all kinds of stuff on there for you. They offer new roofing, re-roofing, roof repair, roof cleaning, emergency roofing, solar. I think some of your presidential hopeful dolls are more in tune with solar
solarly
power
inclined.
Than some of the others, yeah.
Yeah.
The Roof Doctor asks, are you sick of electricity bills always on the rise? Yes. Switching your home to solar power may be just the prescription.
Oh, because he's a doctor.
Yeah. Visit the Roof Doctor to learn more.
I just thought of this. Do you think when they come out and do the the free estimate for your home, and you get it, you have to ask them to translate it because it's written in doctor's messy handwriting?
Yeah, probably.
Do you think all the roofers are doctors? What are the
yes,
it's a possibility.
They've taken their roof doctorate.
Medical professionals
in this economy. Yeah. Yeah, that's news. Do you have any other news, or do you want to hit it at the end?
We can hit it at the end.
Okay.
Hi, this is Jeff and Julie from Fairway Lanes.
Jeff and I met JSIC of Summit Funding at our bowling center, so when we fell in love with this community and it was time to relocate, we knew we would be calling Summit Funding.
They understand that everyone has a unique situation when buying a home.
He had already helped 2 of our employees get into their own homes. The Summit Funding team exceeded our expectations. It was a seamless experience with great communication from his whole team.
Thank you to Summit Funding for making our buying experience special and memorable.
All right, we're back from break, and it's time for segments. First up is Tales from the Takes page. Schwartz, what opinions do you have that you forced your letter writers to voice in the letters to the editor section?
Let's see here. We've got we got a whole. I was going to say something, but I won't. Prayers for local man who fell from a roof. This was about Mason Cole. We had a story about him a couple of weeks ago. Just fell off a roof, I think it was 30 feet, and there was a GoFundMe, and this person was just writing that they had also fallen off of a roof, and this story moved them. We've got taxes, and more taxes.
Uh-huh.
What do you think that one's about, Aaron?
Death.
No, state government. This letter writer had a proposal. Let's see if I can find it here. This is Gregory Ripplinger. Centralia, taxes and fee increases over the past 10 years reduced my fixed income considerably. Each increase effectively reduces my pay. Therefore, I propose an initiative to levy a 15% excise tax on all state-paid wages, especially those of elected officials, their appointees, and staff. I would exclude fire, police, and EMT. And since 80% of school budgets comprise wages and benefits, that would help their funding while closing a portion of the state budget gap. I think an additional state tax on state workers is a genius idea. Aaron,
I bet
your
you
thoughts?
do. I'm against.
You're against?
Shocking.
Yeah.
Disagree.
We have appreciation for editorial on Pope's death.
You wrote that yourself, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
Dancing the whole time as a Protestant.
We had a letter to the... No, I liked the Pope. I liked the guy. He was a cool
a good
Pope.
yeah.
He was a good Pope.
Yeah.
To the Lewis County Fire District 4 voters in Morton. It was from a commissioner out there talking about how they really need a new station, and they're going to be asking again, despite the fact that this one failed. Let's see what else we got here. We must not become helpless victims of a government. Aaron?
Yeah,
Again,
I saw
direct
that.
at you.
Written by a letter writer in Goldendale.
Our reach is wide, Aaron. I don't know what to tell you. Richard Stride, waiting to worry with a glass half full perspective on life. It's a good one.
Okay.
Montana, Idaho joined the record tax cut club while Washington State imposes a historic tax increase.
Well, you move to Idaho at your own risk.
And what you've been waiting for, Aaron. Treatment of congresswomen comes from angry, entitled, selfish people who live on the Wanch Prairie and have bad podcasts.
Here's another comment from John McCroskey.
Everyone can eat shit. Big bag of shit.
He was just saying that, let the Congresswoman talk. He was saying he doesn't agree with her on probably anything.
He went to a party for gay people too.
Yeah, he was at a party and had friendly conversations and used that as a example of how you can have civil discourse with people.
Do you think he had to call all his former, county friends and be like, "Hey, there's some harsh truths coming out in this column"?
No, I don't.
I'm admitting I went to a party.
I think you're weirder
couples.
about this topic than John McCroskey is, to be completely honest
He's
with
the one
you.
that put it in a column.
Yeah, he was using it as an example. He's a columnist, You work real hard. Maybe one day you can be a columnist, Aaron.
I like.
I'm
how
not
he's
promising,
comparing-
but you can think about it.
It's like I went to what anybody else would think was a completely normal party, except the gays were there. It's like, what are we doing?
I don't know about you guys, but some of the best parties I've ever been to have been thrown by people in the LGBTQ community.
They know how to get after it.
They do.
Okay. Why don't you write a column about it, Aaron?
Maybe
That's right.
I
You don't
will.
have one. There isn't a market for your takes beyond this podcast.
You ever bring power rankings back?
Yeah,
I
this
will.
is coming from the
LGBTQ
person who
parties,
has
right at
begged
the
for
top.
power rankings. So.
Yeah.
Other than that, let's see, a couple more letters. Canada does not deserve to be insulted and treated like trash. It's from Joseph Tippler. I've, on the record, one of my favorite letter writers. Not by topic, just by regularity and
he's always got one in there.
cleanliness of takes.
What?
Always
AMR
good.
is closing its Lewis County office.
Mm-hmm. And then the final letter, how left-leaning Washington State became unlivable.
Unlivable? Okay.
We're overcoming the odds, Aaron.
I guess so. And yet we persist in being alive.
Yeah, for now. Let's wait till that Zen tax kicks in.
That's where you draw the line.
I think about it every day, Aaron.
I'm really glad to see
do.
you taking a stance, Eric. That's great.
Yeah,
I'm happy for you.
I'm willing to burn it all down for this one, Hallie. This is
So
a terrible
great.
tax. It's regressive.
First they came for the billionaires, and I said nothing.
It's regressive towards me personally. I won't stand for it.
Should we go to People's Champion of the Week?
Do you have one?
I have 2.
Okay.
Top 25 Centralia and WFS students to be honored at Rob Fuller's Scholarship Luncheon.
You gonna read
We
all the
have
names?
50 of them.
Are you gonna
I'm
read them
not.
all?
No, but I'm happy that they still do this. And also the one kid in the front and center in the main photo wearing a black hoodie and wraparound sunglasses indoors. What a flex. Good for him.
I didn't know where you were going with that. Yeah, that's from last year's event. You're kind of limited in my photo options for this because we don't have photos of the new kids yet. So I threw last year's top 25
That kid
Centralia
is
kids
probably
up there.
at college right now.
Having a great time, I
Yeah.
bet.
Bet he wears those to class every morning.
At a state college. Is that what you're going to say?
At Eastern Washington University.
Exactly. I know where I come from.
And then the other one I've got is 4 Centralia College students named to 2025 All-America team, student team.
You got their names?
All-American, All-Washington academic team.
Do you have their names?
Let's see. Daniel Turner, Ava Brenner, Ian Engel, and Kitty Starr.
Do you think we should have a Chronicle all-area academic team that we just pick arbitrarily?
Like the all-area sports teams? I
Yeah.
don't think it'd work the same.
Of course it wouldn't work the same. I mean, it's every kid, and we're only going to pick, I don't know, what's the average class size in Lewis County?
The small schools, you're looking at the low 20s. The big schools, you're looking at close to 200.
Because it wouldn't be fair to just look at grades, right? So
You'd
there's
have
some pretty
to-
cool dudes out there.
Well, like,
Just some locker room players that are
Yeah.
like really good
yeah.
in the hallways, like as far as like discourse and friendliness.
How is
Yeah,
that
it's
going to
just-
work, though? Are you going to put them in like a fantasy league and just say
No, it's
whoever
a
makes it
team,
to
and
the
if
top
you don't make it,
25,
we
or what
argue
do
with
you
your
do?
parents,
Like, do
just
they
like
have
we do
to-
the sports one.
do they have to
You're gonna write
apply,
a letter
or
to their parents.
I don't know.
we just randomly pick them?
Yeah, it's
We just
all
talked
up in the air.
to we just talked to 1 or 2 teachers we know, so just like the all area teams.
Exactly. Yeah. We talked to a couple. They're going to be weighted probably towards a few schools. It's just how it happens.
Just like all area. Like if your school's doing really well, but you're like, it's
gonna be a-
awful lot of Shayla's kids in this all academic team.
People aren't going to want to hear this, but there's going to be a token Tumwater kid in there, probably a Black Hills kid too. We can't really help it.
If you're a PL kid, I'm sorry, you better have a 4.5 GPA. You want to think this is
This is the only fantasy league I
No,
would
but
buy
in
into.
TL, like I would take. This is a good example. I would take a solid 2.5 GPA kid who maybe is also already working in the forest. You know.
why do you gotta like pigeonhole PL kids like that?
Because it's a
Maybe he's got a
resource.
blog
It's a
that's really
resource
popular.
community. Maybe
Maybe he's doing some online translation work. You don't know.
Could be.
What's your problem?
Our history roundup had a PL kid who was in this high level nuclear group during the Cold War with Russia. Thought that was really cool.
What?
He was like sent there still during the Cold War to talk about the nuclear program.
Pretty cool.
We sent our best guy, and he was from PL. There ain't nothing wrong with PL, Aaron. Set your Adna rivalry aside. One other idea, because I'm on this idea
So
kick.
you're telling me that during the when was this?
During the Cold War, it was
During
in
the
70s,
Cold
yeah.
War,
Yeah.
we sent our best and brightest to Russia, and it just happened to be a child from PL.
Yes.
This is what you're telling me.
It wasn't a child. It was a PL grad.
Okay, all right.
They
Well,
weren't
that makes a
still in
little more
high
sense
school,
now.
Aaron.
How many years grad? Like, had he earned this?
It just the story identified him as a PL graduate. So the history roundup.
that's pretty
Owen
cool.
brought back our history roundup the last few weeks, and it's pretty good. You should check it out. But my other idea, and why Cody isn't here tonight, is because he is shooting the Lewis County Dairy Ambassador coronation.
Oh, I'm familiar.
I assumed, and it made me think we need a Little Mr. Chronicle, and I think I know of a perfectly good candidate for Little Mr. Chronicle. Represents us at local events. Good face.
Bauer?
Cody Christian. Get him a little sash that he takes out on his photo assignments from now on.
I don't know that Cody would go for that,
I don't think that he would.
especially since he's like, 3 months away from retirement?
Yeah, he is almost at retirement. That's true. We'll get send him out on a high note.
All right. Sirens Banger of the Week. I have PL man jailed for fleeing from police with baby, teenagers, and gun and vehicle, now charged for January chase. Did we talk about this one last week?
I think we did, but he's back in the news because he ran from the cops in January, February, and April, and they finally caught him in April with the baby. He ran, and, to his credit, he took the baby with him when he ran on foot after the chase. But now he's been charged for the January chase, which was very similar. Sans the baby that we're aware of.
The PL man arrested Friday for allegedly driving recklessly and fleeing from police while drunk with a baby, 2 teenagers, and a handgun in the vehicle has been charged.
What a headline.
God forbid a man take his family for a drive.
Yeah, I figured that'd be your take.
You did not.
Yeah, I did.
Do you want to talk about Shayla's Outfitters?
Congresswoman, bad, crime, good.
Speaking of taking your handgun for a drive.
Oh, yeah. I've printed off Chehalis Outfitters' next sale, which, you know what, Aaron? I'll give you 2 of these. Not the good pages, but 2 of the pages for you to peruse. These are exclusive deals that won't be published until tomorrow.
I can see why you handed me this page. It has shorts on it, and I know how you feel about shorts.
I don't wear them. I don't trust them, to be honest with you.
I'm sorry, you don't trust shorts?
How are you going to wear, pants that do half the job? You know what I mean?
The hardest
lazy
times in
pants.
his life have come from the flood legs and doing cleaning sidewalks, and his
Got
legs
leg
hurting
issues.
afterwards.
Right, that's
Yeah.
true.
They need those little twiggies need all the protection they can get.
That's true. I don't know why you had to call them Twiggies, but it was hurtful. The sale runs May 1st through May 14th, and I'm not going to bury the lead here because I've got the ads, which will appear in the Thursday edition of the Chronicle. Get yourself a Ruger for $539.95.
Is it Mother's Day already?
It's lightweight. It's perfect for concealed carry. And Aaron, best of all, it is made right here in these United States of America.
Hell yeah.
If that's not your speed, get yourself a Sig Sauer P365,
That sounds like a German gun.
the Rose Edition.
Ooh.
For $999.95. That's a savings of $150, also American made.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, good deal. That's what I got. What do you got over there on your page?
Well, did you know there's an entire section, Shayla's Outfitters, Carhartt for women.
Oh, yeah.
Schwartz, you're a married man.
Shayla's Outfitters is selling underwear now. I saw that.
Why don't you go over there and pick up some CTR women's hats?
Ooh.
Get the missus a nice hat for all the yard work she's doing while you're not
She
doing
would probably
yard
like
work.
that. Yeah, I
bet she would come out to spring cleanup in her Carhartts.
Oh,
I'm
probably.
sure she would.
Probably being the baby.
Some ladies' garden clogs by Western Chief for $22.95. Some dovetail workwear. Yeah, get your wife fitted out for all that yard work she does that you refuse to do
I don't refuse.
due to incompetence, probably.
Yes, I'm unable.
Also, they have a whole bunch of cool-looking boots for men and probably also for women too.
Done with the ladies. You can also get a single pistol case for $4.49. It's large, molded in handle, secure and lockable hatches, 2 layers of high-density foam. You can keep that 6 Sauer P365 safe till you need to bust out the Rose Edition.
I'm sorry, I thought you said you were done with the ladies. I don't understand. This sounds like the perfect Mother's Day gift for me.
That was very sexist. The ladies can also arm themselves with Kershaw knives. 20% all in stock. 20% off all in stock. I'm sorry. Comes with a lifetime warranty if you got to do any shanking. Also, Coyote Eyewear, 30% off. Also, Kuma Outdoor Gear, 20% off. And Jesse James handbags for your pistol. 20% off. Back to the ladies. Ladies Cannon 11 waders from Frog Togs.
You're really running out of steam here, aren't you?
Oh, I didn't even got to the plants yet, man. It's 20% off all citrus plants. Gosh, there's lots of good stuff here.
When I
Hanging
stopped by the
baskets
other
for
day, they all look
$29.95. We could go buy our own basket, name it the News Dump basket, hang it above the studio.
Please do
And
that.
care
That would be
for it.
hilarious.
The biggest basket.
I will accept bets on how long that lives.
It wouldn't last long. There's asbestos up here. I don't think that's good for plants either.
I don't think so.
I also don't know if there's asbestos here. This building is for sale. I'm sure it's fine.
I mean, you've been here for a long time. You're still alive.
Yeah, I'm perfectly healthy.
Except for those leg ailments
for
he's
the
always
toe.
talking about.
Anyways, the sale, May 1st through May 14th. Also have a build a flower basket on May 9th. And Dolly Day is May 17th. And there's a free canning seminar on May 31st. Check out Shales Outfitters on Facebook or at their website.
I do not have any Facebook comments of the week.
I'm just so happy to be a Chehalis Outfitters man. I can't tell you. It means a lot to me.
Especially with Mother's Day coming up.
Do you want to do a roundup then? Since you don't have
tell
any
me
takes?
what I missed.
You really should have checked out the Winco scam comments because I'm sure we just got shredded in there.
They were.
Did they not notice Sudan?
No, I didn't see that. A lot of people are
man.
just like, hell yeah, Winco.
I hate Sudan.
My favorite part of that article, again, podcast, very visual medium, was the mugshot of one of the guys. He's just staring into the middle distance as if he's realized that he's done all of this for $388.
Yeah.
It was a
just
beautiful
that one.
thing.
Split 4 ways.
Exactly.
And
so
they
whatever
were
that
doing
math
this
is.
all around the
75,
Northwest.
70, like $85.
Imagine if your job's at Winco, but you don't work for Winco. Like, this is that. Everybody, I thought that with this story, too, with the lower yield. Like, it seemed like it'd be enough to get them to the next store to get more money.
Maybe.
It just...
But you're pulling it off in a Winco, so you can get like a cheap slice of pizza.
But it seems like, I don't know, I hope their crime portfolio included other crimes, because otherwise their bottom line could not have been in the black.
Well,
I mean,
you know,
it
I don't know if
seemed
you've
like
heard this
that's what he was
before,
realizing.
But crime does not pay.
Apparently, if you're into the salvage metal industry, it does pay in Morton because their bleachers got stolen from the ballparks at Jubilee Park.
Are we sure that's what they were doing with them, and that like somebody isn't just setting their bleachers up in their backyard?
Could be. Morton White Pass Youth Association President Eric Cox went to the Morton City Council this week and asked for help because they showed up and their recently installed bleachers and dugouts were just gone, and in their place was just piles of bolts and nuts, and everything was missing. In general, the association was displeased with the city. Apparently, there's a homeless woman who lives there. It's also causing them problems. So that's the gist of the story. But the big takeaway for me was stealing bleachers is just wild in the middle of a city.
I can't believe they didn't take the proper equipment to secure them at their next destination.
You'd think, right?
Yeah.
That's why I assume this is just a getting rid of it situation. Other news, you mentioned AMR to close its Lewis County office after 45 years. There's a new vendor coming in, but a new contract moving in with a different company. The costs for AMR just skyrocketed. They weren't even anywhere close to the next bid, so that's basically why Lewis County is moving on. What else do we have here? There's a fight in Oakville at an assembly. Did you see that?
Oh, no, I didn't. Was it cool?
No, it was not cool. It was a fight between children.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right. You find blue baby disease interesting. I forgot. Marie
babies are
Glusenkamp
blue.
Perez, the pariah of Democrats from here to Aaron VanTuyl.
They just
is
ask more from their elected
gonna have
representatives. When did that become a crime?
East Lewis County mobile office hours. She's coming to Randall. She'll be at the Mountain View Library. You can get details about that at cronline.com.
All right.
We had a 70th anniversary out in Mossy Rock. 70ths are rare. We got a 75th not too long ago, too, though. But you start doing the math on those, and they're pretty
They're
wild.
like what? They're like late 80s?
Or 90. Yeah, late 80s
Yeah.
if they were married at 18, 19, or 20.
70
anywhere
years
in
ago,
the
that was
90s
probably
after
more
that.
common.
But they had a party for it and everything. It was Frank and Winnie DiPola. Congratulations to them. Let's see what else we've got here.
You going to make it to your 70th wedding anniversary?
I've set 60 as a goal, Aaron. Let's just it's house money after 35 really. I'm already winning. OB Credit Union creates new scholarship for brewing and distilling students. I only used this because I thought, Aaron, perhaps you could correct your trajectory of your career and go do something meaningful, like produce booze.
Get high on my own supply?
This one was fun. You'll like this one, Aaron. Environmental nonprofit files to defend plant found only in Lewis County and parts of Oregon. So I get an email, Aaron, from your and I's good friend, Aaron Kunkler.
Oh,
Former reporter.
Yeah.
First thing he says
anarchist.
is, hey, Eric, I see you stir at the Chronicle. I see Aaron's still there, too. I don't recognize anyone else's names. I was like, oh, wait a minute. Introduce yourself, Kunkler. Anyways,
all right,
there's this plant, the thin-leaved pea vine, and it only exists on a farm out in Adna. We know the farm, and we plan to go out there, but we didn't include it in the story because we want to expand on it later. And it only exists in Lewis County, according to the Center for Biological Diversity, which is where Mr. Kunkel works now. And they filed a petition with the federal government on behalf of the plant for federal protection under the Endangered Species Act. It's a beautiful plant.
Kunkel, working for the Center for Biological Diversity.
It's more his speed than when he was here. He famously covered the first Donald Trump election for us.
Yeah.
It was a surprising night, and then he decided journalism wasn't for him.
I thought he moved up north to...
He did. He went to some sound publishing paper for a little while, but then moved into the communication space. He's really good at it, Aaron. I can give you his phone number if you like. Maybe take some notes. Dick's Brewing Company is going to celebrate the opening of its new food truck, and this is an idea, kind of, that you've had forever. The food truck is just called Dick's Sandwich Shop, and they're just going to sell sandwiches. And
yeah,
you've been asking for this kind of business for a long time.
I just want a sandwich.
Yeah, I'd like to see them come downtown from time to time.
Yeah, if they want to come out to any of our upcoming events.
That'd be great.
They should.
I would eat at Dick's a lot more often if it wasn't over there on Harrison. I just don't make it down there very often, and it's not like a logical. For me, it should be maybe like I'm going to go to that area of town. Like I just don't. So I like that they're going to have a mobile option.
That'll be great.
There's a lot more. City of Chehalis is evaluating some annexation possibilities.
Big government.
We've got Centralia Middle School's honor roll in there. We got trimester 1 in the last edition, and we have trimester 2 in this edition. We're playing a little bit of catch up.
Are they calling them trimesters now?
That's what they sent to us.
Like pregnancy
code. Yeah. Thurston County Honors recipient of Bar Association's Local Hero Award. It's the latest set of reporter Dylan Rubenking. Pretty good stuff.
Yeah. Who was it?
Some other good stuff. It was the chief of staff in the Thurston County Prosecutor's Office. She's been there for quite some time. Christy Peters. She was nominated by her husband, who also works in the prosecutor's office up there.
And they both worked there for a long time. And she was finally like,
Could have been. It feels like I should also mention Edna Fund won a history award from the State Museum this week.
I was going to lodge a formal complaint that she wasn't up there for People's Hero of the Week.
She should have been up there.
Yeah.
That's where you should have jumped in.
I'm just saying. Edna's done a lot of years of work for local history, and she finally got recognized for it.
She just
so
won
we're
People's Champion of the Week.
I'm
Am I
just
right?
saying.
I mean, what could be better?
It was great. Julie McDonald wrote a column about it, but she was nominated by the Centralia Downtown Association, right?
Yes, yeah.
And Brian Mitke went up there with her. We have a nice column or a nice photo of our 3 columnists all together.
Yes. It was there was actually a whole Edna Fund fan club that went. I was supposed to go, and then we had some plan shift. But Brian was even looking at getting shirts at one point.
Oh, nice.
Very exciting, yeah. Yeah, well deserved for Edna.
Big award.
Yeah.
There's a lot more that you missed at Cronline.
Your 3 columnists up there?
I'm counting Edna because she used to be a history columnist for us. So
like
Brian Mitke was with her and Julie McDonald as well.
Thought maybe it was like Julie and Brian and, John McCroskey was also up there for some reason.
Would have been apt.
Writing a whole column about it because, never mind.
Have you guys been following Edna's history moments at City Council every week?
We have written up a few of them, but we don't cover every single one of them. Should we?
They're really fun little tidbits. I had to go in her place one week, and it was all about how downtown's biggest problem in 1908 was cows wandering tower. She finds some really fun little tidbits in there, so should bring her back as a history columnist.
She'd be good.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to that.
All right. Anything else?
That'll do.
In closing, we're sponsored by Summit Funding, Chehalis Outfitters, and The Roof Doctor. Leave a review and rating on Apple Podcast if you want, or send us an email at chroniclenewsdump@gmail.com.
When it came hard